Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gordon Frayne, and today we're jumping in to talk all about Ondo versus Mantra Crypto. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below, hit that subscribe button as well, and if you want to get notified about similar videos, make sure to smash that bell notification icon. We're dropping videos almost every single day on the channel, so you're going to want to get notified. And don't forget to grab your free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin. It's going to be linked in the description below. It is my gift to you. Grab it while it's free, and let's get into the video. So we cannot talk about Ondo and Mantra without talking about the narrative of real world assets, because real world asset tokenization is the problem that the tokens for both Ondo and Mantra are trying to solve. And if we look at the Dune dashboard here and look at narrative performance year to date for 2024, we can see that narrative of RWA, real world asset tokenization, has been the second best performing narrative of the year thus far, second only to meme coins. And we know that meme coins have had a huge run up in 2024 thus far and in the latter half of 2023 as well. But real world assets are making moves to even get us closer to the performance of meme coins and the sheer hysteria that has been around meme coins and the amount of capital flowing through meme coins. Real world assets is the second best performing narrative year to date out of all the various narratives. It's doing better than the BTC narrative, better than liquid staking derivatives, better than identity, the Bitcoin narrative, privacy, AI, etc. So real world assets is a narrative that is here for 2024, and in my opinion will continue into 2025 as we move through the course of this bull cycle. We've done other videos about real world asset tokenization on the channel, and usually when I'm talking about real world assets, I like to frame the asset tokenization space by breaking down this brief study by Roland, a consulting firm, and basically they're talking about the real world asset tokenization space reaching a valuation of just under 11 trillion US dollars by the year 2030. And in this report, they basically state that the three biggest classes for assets in a tokenized capacity, based on their estimates, will be real estate, debt, and investment funds being the top three tokenized assets by the time we get to the year 2030. So we can see here all the way down in 2024, where we are right now, we're talking about something in the region of 0.6 trillion US dollars. But as you can see, the expectation as we move through the next 5 to 6 years towards 2030 is that we're going to see exponential growth in the amount of assets being tokenized on the blockchain. And again, talking about asset tokenization and talking about big players making moves in this space, we saw BlackRock announce the BUIDL fund that they created a few months ago and launched on Ethereum, which is basically, for all intents and purposes, a fund geared towards asset tokenization on the blockchain. And Ethereum was their chain of choice when launching this fund. You can see here that the Treasury fund hit 375 million in April of this year. It's actually much higher now, as we will see in a moment. And even just in the past few weeks, we have had news that BlackRock's tokenized BUIDL fund has paid out over 7 million in dividends since March of this year. And we could be seeing over 3 billion in capital investment by the end of 2024. So if we jump over to rwa.xyz, which is the dashboard that we always use for checking out asset tokenization in a real world capacity, we can see just how much total RWA on-chain assets are growing throughout the year thus far. We can see big increases month over month here as we came through the latter half of 2023 and moved into 2024 with significant amount of increases with total assets on chain. We can see a 4.44% increase in total assets over the past 30 days alone. And if we jump over to US Treasuries, for example, and we let the chart load, we can actually see BlackRock's BUIDL fund here in the orange at the top of the chart. And as you can see, we're now in excess of 519 million US dollars in terms of tokenized treasuries as part of that BlackRock Biddle fund. So again, the trend moving upwards here when it comes to the amount of assets being tokenized on-chain in an on-chain capacity. And again, this brings us back to the topic of today's video, which is all about Ondo versus Mantra. And again, these two tokens and blockchains are basically trying to help create less friction for businesses and institutions to tokenize assets in an on-chain manner. Again, we talked about the advantages of asset tokenization in other videos on the channel. It leads to more liquidity. It leads to cost efficiencies when transacting with these assets in an on-chain manner. It allows for fractional ownership of real-world assets, whether that's bonds, treasuries, real estate, etc. There's tons of advantages that we know about for asset tokenization, and big asset managers like BlackRock and others are making moves to be the first movers in this space to gain the advantage in terms of cost savings, but also in terms of increased revenues over the next decade as we move towards this 11 trillion US dollar market here for asset tokenization on chain. So Ondo and Mantra are honing in to try and get a piece of this pie. As we can see, institutional grade finance now on chain is what Ondo is all about, building the next generation of financial infrastructure to improve market efficiency, transparency, and accessibility. So again, Ondo are making it seamless and easy to tokenize assets in an on-chain manner. Again, US treasuries, US dollar yields. You can see here that they've partnered with a number of different asset managers. BlackRock is one of the leading asset managers that Ondo have a partnership with, hence why so many people are very, very bullish on Ondo and what it's doing in the real world asset tokenization space. We did other videos on the channel specifically about Ondo, as well as an Ondo price prediction video. You should definitely check that out on the channel as well. But you can see here that Ondo are in the process of building out exceptional partners, superior assets, and world-class client services. So again, if we jump into Flux, which is the lending and borrowing protocol that is part of the Ondo ecosystem, you can see that you can actually just simply connect your wallet here and begin lending and borrowing using Flux, which is part of the Ondo ecosystem. Again, you can see the rates that you can get access to when it comes to lending and borrowing markets. It's already integrated and very seamless to connect some of the most popular wallets in the space, like MetaMask, Coinbase, Ledger, Fireblocks, etc. And again, it's just showing us the potential with real world asset tokenization and what these blockchains are doing in terms of laying down the infrastructure to get us from 2024 to 2030. Again, the likes of Ondo and Mantra are creating the rails. They're creating, these are the businesses that are creating the railroad system. It's like thinking back to what we were doing in, let's say, the early days of laying out the entire rail network across various different continents. These are the guys building the railroads that are going to be bringing the capital on chain. And obviously not every single token is going to survive in this space, but Ondo and Flux are two of the leading protocols in the real world asset space. Again, if we jump over to the Mantra website, we can see what Mantra are talking about here in terms of bringing the world's financial ecosystem on chain. Mantra is a security first RWA layer 1 blockchain capable of adherence to real world regulatory requirements. And again, I think that's why Mantra and Ondo are leading the way here, because they're building infrastructure that is making it easy for not necessarily retail investors first, but institutional investors and asset managers in a very regulatory compatible way to bring assets on chain and start tokenizing assets to make them more liquid, to create efficiencies of scale, and ultimately make these big asset managers a lot of money from this new blockchain revolution that we are moving into. So lots of interesting stuff on the Mantra website here as well. If we jump over very quickly to CoinMarketCap and take a look at both Ondo and Mantra very briefly as well, we can see that Ondo is currently sitting at a price of about 73 cents. Ondo is the 62nd largest cryptocurrency by overall market cap, currently sitting at a market cap just above $1 billion US dollars. Again, it is up 352% year to date, because we did only see Ondo's token start trading in a mainnet capacity back in January of this year. So we are up 352%. And we did see Ondo even getting up above this $1.45 level back at the beginning of June. We had a big run up here in price, even towards the second half of May to the beginning of June, going from 73 cents all the way up to the $1.45 level before having this retracement over the past couple of months. Yes, we've seen Bitcoin retracing as well, along with most of the altcoin market, but Ondo has been performing pretty well since January and is holding its own in the real world asset narrative when it comes to price action. It is available on a number of different major exchanges like Coinbase, OKX, Bybit, etc. And you can also get it on Uniswap. Jumping over to Mantra, we can see that Mantra is currently trading at $1.04. It is slightly behind Ondo in terms of overall market cap, currently sitting at about 869 million US dollars, making it the 68th largest cryptocurrency by overall market cap. We can also see how the price action of Mantra has played out over the past few years. We did see it launching at the end of 2020 here, getting a spike all the way up to the 72 cents level by March of 2021 when we were going through the previous bull cycle. However, big retracement all the way back down to the 2 cents level before taking back off again and going from that 2 cents level all the way up to over $1.38 here back just a few weeks ago, and then retracing back down to the $1.04 level where we are today. So Mantra has a longer price history than Ondo, and again, riding the coattails of this real world asset narrative that we mentioned at the start of the video, which has been the second best performing narrative of the year so far, only second to meme coins. Mantra has been riding that wave. You can really see it taking off here in February, March of this year, where we had lots of hype beginning and starting again around real world asset tokenization. So again, these two tokens are big players in the RWA space. It'll be very exciting to keep an eye on them in terms of price action over the course of the next few months. Again, if we zoom in here and see the returns for Mantra, even just over the course of the past 1 year time frame, have been above 4,500%. So if you were buying that dip for Mantra all the way down at that kind of 1 to 2 cents level, you had buying opportunities here back in May, June, July of last year. Well done to you if you were buying that dip, because you are sitting on a very nice healthy return over the past 12 months. So Mantra and Ondo are two leading real world asset tokenization platforms and protocols that are making moves and making waves in the RWA space. As we said, real world assets due to grow in terms of market growth to $11 trillion by the year 2030, with real estate debt and investment funds being the top three tokenized assets. If you want to keep an eye on everything going on, make sure to check out rwa.xyz. It's an incredible dashboard for keeping track of all the major asset managers and everything you're doing from an on-chain tokenization perspective. We can even see stable coins and the pickup that we've seen in stable coins over the past year. We can see a big ramp up in stable coins on chain here for the entirety of 2024. We can also see private credit and commodities, and even in terms of the various different blockchains that are being used. You know, even if we think about US treasuries, the vast majority of stuff is happening on Ethereum, but lots of action happening on Stellar, Solana, Mantle, XDC, Arbitrum, etc. as well. So lots of powerful data over here on RWA XYZ if you're interested in following everything going on in the real world asset tokenization space. So that is it for this video. Let us know in the comments below, are you holding Ondo as part of your bull run portfolio? Are you holding Mantra as well? And where do you think the price of these assets is going to over the course of the next 12 to 18 months. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below. Hit that subscribe button as well. And if you want to get notified about future videos, smash that bell notification icon. And on your way out, don't forget to grab your free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin. It's going to be linked in the description below. And as always, we will catch you in the next one.